Hey everyone, we're back again. Still working on this F550 here. Big old heavily loaded 550, and we started out with fuel problems, and now we're diagnosing a fan that is on all the time. Ran through the forward pinpoint diagnostics, and the fan stator or the fan clutch was bad. And as soon as we started taking all this apart, we start seeing stuff like this. Someone has physically cut a slot in the fan stator so that they could maybe get off the fan without having to unbolt the fan stator, but that has weakened this whole thing. And this is our second fan clutch. We put one on yesterday, had it all put back together, and what's happening is the fan, there's not much clearance there. As soon as that fan gets up to like 2,000 RPMs, it starts bowing out a little bit, and then it hits this standoff harness there, and the first one blew itself apart almost instantly. This is our second one now. That one is now broken from just 5 minutes of testing to get the fluid in the visco clutch to stabilize and start getting the RPMs down where they're supposed to be. We did fix the problem with the fan being on all the time with the new clutch, but the problem is that all of this was taken apart and cut apart wrong. Like this piece here, this is the top of the fan shroud. It's not supposed to be separated from this bottom part. This is all supposed to come out as one unit. You got this little rubber piece that goes in between the two. The whole thing is supposed to lend support to itself, and with this big old thing right there, you've got a lot of play in this. And hey, go ahead and start up the truck. What we're seeing is there's actually a wobble in the water pump, and if you I can't see it because it's bolted back on, but whoever took the fan clutch off before, they did a horrible job. They weren't using proper tools. You need to use the proper tools. There's special tools to hold that pulley while you loosen the fan clutch nut. Let's see if we can get this. Kind of hard to see, but that whole thing is wobbling. You can kind of see it there. See it going back and forth. And the fact that this has so much play in it is why we're getting destroyed harnesses there. And I'm going to have them rev it up a little bit, give it some gas. Go and kill it. The owner of the truck said that Ford was the one that replaced this fan clutch last time, and if Ford did it and they cut this slot here, Ford is responsible for replacing that stator, and even the shroud. The stator and shroud need to be replaced. When it blew apart yesterday, it broke off this little piece from the shroud cover. That broke off because the piece of the wire harness shot straight up out the stator. But we're seeing corners cut all over this truck here. Look down under here. I mean, the transmission lines are zip tied on there. Those are supposed to have little plastic brackets on it. Everywhere we look on this truck, someone has cut some serious corners, and those serious corners are coming back to haunt the owner in the form of problems. That was a bad fan clutch. New fan clutch is now having issues with wiring harness. There is a slight water leak from the water pump, which the fan is attached to the water pump right behind there, and since it's leaking, and that we noticed that when we were taking it apart originally, I'm thinking whoever took this all apart the first time didn't know how to properly unbolt the stator to get to the nut and properly hold the pulley so that they could do it, and there's a little bit of wobble in there. I think it's from a bad original clutch job. But this is kind of a tough situation because we're at a point now where we can't put in another another clutch because it's just going to destroy itself like this one here, this whole thing has to be replaced. So, you know, be careful who you take your truck to, guys, and make sure that they know the proper forward pinpoint procedures, know the proper service procedures for even taking off a fan clutch, and that they're not destroying parts. This is supposed to be one piece with that piece down there, and they split it in half and cut all these corners to try to get to that fan clutch, and that is now destroying fan clutches. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.